Hello, this is my personal journey in getting better at Arduino um, and Onshape. What I worked on today was today I've worked on the Arduino and essentially building my first circuit and coding C++, right? And for Onshape or my 3D modeling, it was just practice. I'd say like a practice routine. I'm starting to get the fundamentals of like building things like extruding, um, making holes and things like that, turning sketches into 3. Um, but yeah, I just built my first circuit and I essentially it's a blinking light, blinking at every half second, and I programmed this code. All right, I I hope the thing can read it like flipped, but basically just to reiterate and do this like active recall thing just so I could actually keep this information in my head. Um, Void setup is a setup which is basically a code that only runs once. Pin mode is this line 2 is saying at pin 13 on the on the Arduino, pin 13 on the Arduino, this will be pin 13 output on the Arduino is what is going to be passing electric current onto the breadboard. It's essentially the one that sends out electricity, right? So that's what we did once, right? So it's staying like that, and then in void loop is basically well, it's a code that runs continuously again and again and again. So I said at line 7 at pin 13 the output is going to be high, so electric current is going to pass high, and then for half a second it's going to be high for half a second, and then again digital write at pin 13 is going to be low, which is it's well the current's going to be low, either like there's absolutely no current or it's just low, right? I don't have a necessary like value of how much current I want, but I just put low, and then delay for half a second, and then I have this. You can really see, but yes, this is what my circuit is doing. These are horizontal. These are separated horizontally. All these I forgot what they're called, but all of these things are set up horizontally, and then on the sides here are vertically. So if I were to put this black one, this ground wire into on the same one in the first column, they would be electrically connected. Um, yeah, that's what I have so far. For the light, the diode. This is actually a diode, which is something that only passes electricity to it once. Like not once, but it only goes to it. So the anode is what takes in the energy. I'm pretty sure. Is that maybe the shorter leg is a cathode and will connect to the ground. Okay. So anode connects to power, and cathode is what connects to the ground. Okay. And then a resistor is basically it controls how much electricity goes into here, just so my thing won't like burn out, right? And this, I'm guessing, is just what completes the circuit to connect to the ground. I This little thing right here, but yeah, that's what I have. All right, so one of the most important things to be a great engineer is, I think, is to branch off the fundamentals that you learn, right? So I'm not saying that I did some crazy shit, right, but I took what I learned from reading the book book and watching um this video, like very basic circuitry, right? Mostly from the book though. Coding from the video, but the book, understanding the circuitry and the terms. So without further ado, I used from what I've learned and tried to implement it by myself. So I did police lights. Hell yeah. So for the software that I use to 3D design, I use Onshape. It's free. A lot of people use it. It's pretty good so far, and they have it. They have this setting where it basically runs like SolidWorks, and that's what they teach at my school. So yeah, currently I'm not having any engineering classes at the moment, so I'm using this time to build my skills and have a greater understanding at fundamentals. So when the time comes, I'll know what I'm doing, you know, and I'll basically be ahead of the game, which is what I want. I really do want a good future. I do want, I just want it, you know. So yeah, so today I did some practice runs. I don't know how to like scroll down. I don't know why it doesn't let me. This thing's weird. But yeah, you here? Okay, yeah. So yeah, so everything yesterday was, well, it's 4 in the morning, so yesterday was yesterday stuff. But let's just say today I worked on building a phone holder, right? I did that right there. Just a 3D cylinder. I used the fillet tool. And then I did cutouts from a extruded cylinder, I guess. And then I used the revolve tool here. And then I did, what was it? Obviously extruding, setting the dimensions, and then doing the shell. And then I worked more on this one, and then I did this one, and then that's when I like left the coffee shop. I go to this coffee shop like every single day. But yeah, this I'm currently working on a piston. Um yeah, this is the head of the piston, I guess. And I did the little things, the honeycomb things. I don't know. On the next video, I'll definitely like understand a piston, because really I'm just trying to understand how to use the tools. So I'll just search it up how piston like actually works and stuff. But yeah, this is the head of the piston, and I'm not done, but it's essentially it's gonna be an assembly, right? So yeah, this is the con rod, they call it, the con rod. So it's like the piston's here, and then it's that like thing. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be in between on the bottom here, and then you'd be putting a, I don't know if you can see or whatever. So there's the head of the piston, right? And then you put the that thing on the screen here, and then you would be putting like some sort of like a cylinder, like a metal cylinder, like something like holds it, right? From what I know so far, I don't understand how a piston works, like the piston, it's how a piston is engineered more so. I know the piston is just what, like, right, whatever. Like that was such a bad explanation, but yeah. Um yeah, that's what's going on so far. I mean, I also go to the gym, so I could be documenting that as well. Um, yeah, today I didn't go though because they close at 9, and I left the coffee shop like at 10. So yeah, well, yeah, well, that's what I did. So today I worked on learning basic very basic coding and circuitry, right? And then I branched off using those fundamentals a bit. And then after that, well, actually, no, that was after 3D modeling. So today, what I did was study for my history upcoming history exam. I don't know why, bro. Whatever, upcoming history exam, and then the more important stuff, which is building skills from an actual pathway, which is number one, learning fundamentals and continuing learning fundamentals on Onshape, more so based for SolidWorks, and then this the well, you can't see it, but basic circuitry and coding for Arduino. And yeah, see ya.